So Nick grooming everywhere. How many hair salons are a chain? You know, it's really hard to run a hair salon, have enough people come in. Usually they're privately run little, but there's like 5 in Center City proper and then a few over in West Philly. Do they groom people in a different way? Like you take kids and you groom them into how you want them to be. Or you could groom people for sex trafficking and even drugs. People are groomed to wind up in the drug world and then they take the blame. You have only yourself to blame. That's not true at all. In fact, people with those mentalities force people to find ways to cope with life. I can't believe people still say that. There are people in other parts of the world who are like, people still say stuff like that? You betcha, bandit. And people still say, you betcha, bandit. So they tried to cool people out in Florida, but Florida people are like, you betcha, bandit. But people in Delaware still say you have only yourself to blame. That you just want to slap someone who says stuff like that? And you're like, actually, I've been bullied my whole life. And I can't figure out, like, so badly that it's like, I can't tolerate this workspace. Or, you know what? I gotta take some Ozempic. That would be for heavier set people who are like, I can't, you know, I work in a world where food is, you know, thrown at us. And I'm not really sure how to, I'm not that controlled over, I'm a normal person, you know? So I can't take anything because I can't afford it. And I haven't had healthcare benefits in years other than a short time period of receiving SNAP benefits and some, like just like a month and a half or less of pandemic aid. I wish it were available a lot quicker, but thank God for shipped in Gainesville, Florida. And my mom had a card during the pandemic. Thank God. Can you believe that? All this education I had to rely on shipped to get a leg up monetarily. Unbelievable. Only in America. Ain't that America for you and me? It's like pink houses. What does pink houses mean anyway? People are groomed. Women are so much easier to groom. Like I said. Women are so much easier to groom, which is why they wrote the song Pink Houses for You and Me. We'll make sure you can afford a house. Go this way. We'll make sure you get into a house or 2 or 3. We can puppet you all the way. It's like that Pinocchio song. We got a lot of people in Pinocchio's category from the Eastern Seaboard. I got no strength to hold me down. It's funny, when I was younger, I desperately wanted, or I don't know how it came to be, that I wound up with this. It was kind of large, but it was a marionette puppet of Mickey Mouse. And Mickey Mouse was like half plastic, half cloth or whatever. And it had like a yellow, it was, you know, it was curved at the top. So it wasn't like a total crisscross, you know, it was like curved so you could move the head or do whatever, move the hands this way and that way. And someone's like, that's so funny. Because you guys probably weren't puppeted. That's with a big T, not puppeted. People who get a little extra something something help are kinda, in some people's view, puppeted. It's hard to explain. They're pushed along, they're helped. They think they passed every test the world ever presented. And that's not it. Like, they kept doing certain things that they thought they were supposed to do. And someone's like, okay, keep pushing along, keep pushing. Go, 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 go. So who was in control of the puppet strings the whole time? Turns out, I guess I got to handle all the Mickey Mouse people. I was so sad because I didn't want to, you know, part with that. As I got older, it just became a thing of like, you let go of old toys and stuff from your childhood. But you'd be surprised who really has more control and who doesn't. Little plushie, whatever those things are called. From a distance, it could kind of resemble off a ball, but I knew it kind of wasn't. I'm like, this looks like some one of those plushie, whatever those things are. Of a thing, stuffed animal thing. I miss that, you know, that Mickey Mouse thing. It hung in my closet. I remember it well. I played with it a lot and loved just having Mickey there in my closet the whole time. I had Mickey Mouse in my closet. Tucked in my back pocket to pull out later. You see you real soon. In a house. I'm supposed to say with no name. We're supposed to go onto the Sunny Bono, or not Sunny Bono, the Bono and U2 song, Streets Have No Name. Which is interesting because the street signs have been fading and no one fixes them. It's so funny. I noticed that in LA because people are driving around showing like what happened in Malibu and the Palisades and all that. And it's like they're dealing with the same thing but not fixing it right away. And I can see with the salt water, we only have salt in the winter if it snows, if it's icy. Otherwise, we don't get much salt. We have 2 rivers which are not, you know, I guess they're a little salty. I'm not really sure how it works. It comes off of the Atlantic Ocean, but they're more river-like and less ocean-like, I guess. So how does that work with rivers and tributaries and salt levels? It's not quite as salty white as it is over in Center City. In Center City, they really went wild. And the thing is, there's a lot of traffic to get rid of. Like, the traffic naturally gets rid of. You know, melts the snow and the ice. But they went crazy over there by Salty Dog, dog store and everything. But here, it's not as extra salty. It's a little bit salty. You know, if you were to use it as a metaphor, I walked a dog over here many years ago, and there's a little salt going on, but mostly they use their nannies to create salt. Anything to make Sharon's day miserable. Not as salty here. I still up the street. See how this naturally faded and lots of birds just flew up to the ledge up there. A roost on the I call it the E building. This used to be a women's it's partially a women's history building because during World War, whichever, was it World War II? It was a factory where women could work. And that's when women started to be introduced into the workforce because men were overseas. So I wrote a whole thing on it, like when I was for my MFA, or